This episode is proudly brought to you by Drinking Buddy products. If you or someone you know has limited dexterity and struggles to hold a drink, the Drinking Buddy glove is perfect for you. A neoprene glove with a stubby holder attached to the palm, it holds the drink for you, so you can sit back and relax and enjoy your drink. Head to the Instagram page at _drinkingbuddy_ or the Facebook page at Drinking Buddy, and head to the link on the page to get yours now. Okay, you ready? Let's do it. You're listening to Chats from a Chair, with me, Nick Dempsey, coming to you from my wheelchair. I speak with people who have a great story to tell, portraying the human potential, often in the face of adversity. Check out the Instagram page at chatsfromachair_podcast and let me know who you think I should have on and have a chat with. Also, don't forget to hit follow on whatever platform you're listening to this. But for now, sit back and enjoy this episode. Coming up in this episode, I'm speaking with Matt Greer, who was diagnosed with MS about 20 years ago. So we're going to explore the process that led to him getting tested. Was there something he noticed? Was it just routine? Also going to explore the way that it impacted his family life and family dynamic, conversations that were had with loved ones and how he went about that. We're going to chat about how he regulates the emotional side of a degenerative disease and noticing things might be going backwards in terms of function. So obviously can have a big emotional impact on himself and his family. So going to explore a lot of those things, and also what he's turning his attention to these days and some of the amazing adaptive things that he's discovered along the way. So stay tuned for all of that and much more with Matt. Matt Greer, mate, thanks for coming on Chats from a Chair. How you going?
Yeah, good. Yourself?
Going well, thank you. Going well. Now, you, like myself, have a disability, but it is different to mine.
Yep.
So we'll get to that in a sec. But first off, tell me what your life was like prior to your diagnosis.
Well, it's just family life.
Yep.
We had one daughter, and my wife was pregnant with our second.
Yep.
I was working as a building designer, so we lived in New South Wales, and I designed houses, renovation houses, new houses.
Yep.
Just living life.
Pretty normal married life, excited for a second kid on the way and just going about life.
Yep, absolutely.
And then your diagnosis for a disability came about. Tell me about that. Was there a reason you went and got tested, or did it just sort of come up?
No, it would have been towards the end of 2005.
Yep.
I was playing golf and walking along like I normally do, and my left leg started to feel a little bit jelly-like, and something I'd experienced before after doing pretty hectic sort of exercise or playing sport. So walking along the golf course, that sort of felt quite unusual. It came and went, I can't remember, maybe 10, 20 seconds.
Right.
So I kept going on about my day. And then, in the weeks and months following, it kept coming back and going again, and it would stay around for longer. And
just knew something wasn't quite right with it?
Yeah, doing the typical male thing and trying to ignore it.
It'll be right. Try to make excuses in your head of what it could be.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a dad now, I'm unfit.
Yeah.
You know what it is. But then finally I thought I'd better go to my GP and see what he thinks.
So what was that process when you go in there and say, this is what's happening? Do they instantly say, oh, this is what we think it could be, or do they just send you?
Yeah, we had a really good family doctor.
Yeah.
And I just said, occasional feeling of jelly leg.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm going to send you for an MRI. And I said to him, what are you thinking? And he said motor neuron or MS.
Shit.
And I sort of went, well, I'll take MS out of those two.
Yeah, wow. They're the two options he gives you point blank, just like that.
Yep, straight up.
Is that scary? What was your reaction to that?
Yeah, growing up in primary school, there was a guy at our school whose mum had MS, and that was the only time I'd sort of come across it. And I just was thinking about her, and I can remember, her coming in and out of the school, and sometimes she was walking, sometimes she was in a wheelchair, and I just went. I didn't really know much about it, but I just went, this doesn't sound good.
That's the first thing came to your head.
Yeah.
Wow, that would be scary right there to, as you said, the point you're at in your life as well, where married, second kid on the way, slight jelly leg, and then they throw those two options at you. So,
Yep,
as
absolutely.
you said, out of those two, you will take MS because MND is even, there's no good option, is there?
No.
But yeah, that is horrible. So then what, you went for an MRI? Was there still a bit of you that's like, no, you could be wrong, I could be okay here, or?
Well, I was hoping.
Yep. Yeah.
But went for the MRI, and then it was a Friday afternoon. His receptionist rang me, and she said, "Oh, the doctor wants to see you on Monday afternoon. He's got your results back." And I said, "I'm not waiting the weekend."
Oh, true. Yeah, that would be tough.
And so they squeezed me in that afternoon.
Yeah.
And went into his office, and he goes, "I'm sorry to tell you, it's MS."
Oh, wow. Yeah, they don't often call you in to tell you good news, do they?
No.
So,
No.
wow,
I knew straight away that
yeah.
there was something going on.
Did you go in there with your wife, or?
No, just by myself.
By yourself? Had you broken anything to her? Was she with you that first time? Had you told her what the doctor was thinking, or did you try?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
No, she knew. I told her.
Yep.
I think we just tried to ignore it.
Yeah, it'd be tough, one of those situations that almost want to put it out of your mind, but you sort of can't.
Yeah.
So there's different types of MS.
Yep.
What are the different types, and what is yours?
Okay. I sort of don't really know a whole lot about it.
Right.
I don't go out of my way to study it. It is what it is.
Yep.
So I believe there's 4 types. There's remitting relapsing, secondary progressive, primary progressive, and there's one other which is very rare.
Right.
And my GP, he just said you got MS, and he said I've got there was a neurologist from Sydney that used to come down to where we live once a month, and he said I'll book you in to see him. So I went in with my scans and told him what I was feeling, and he looked at my scans and he said, well, you got primary progressive MS, and your scans don't match your symptoms. You should be a lot worse than than what you are.
Yeah, wow. So your scans obviously showed up pretty bad, but you still had your function was still not too bad.
Yeah, it was still good. Just the occasional feeling of jelly leg, bit of a limp.
Yeah,
it would last for 5-10 minutes. You'd sit down and rest, and then it'd be back to normal.
Yeah, wow. Because I've heard one of those. I'm not sure which one it is. I think the remitting relapsing one is where you sort of get attacks of MS.
Yep.
You lose function, and then it sort of plateaus for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you'll get attacked again.
Yeah.
But does yours sort of present more as just a slower progressive?
It's just progressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today's pretty much the same as tomorrow.
Yeah.
But then in a month, 6 months, 12 months, it's worse.
Right.
So it doesn't have its times where it gets better, and it's just a continuous decline.
It's tough as well because, I mean, with that, obviously going in the doctor's office, getting the phone call, going in, being told, is a bit of it's slightly different to say someone that like myself or people that you're around at Making Strides, where there's this big event that happens and there's big injury and in snap of fingers everything changes.
Yeah.
But it's more of a progressive thing. So
yeah,
I imagine both are obviously horrible, but very different sort of thing to deal with.
Yeah, I sometimes think about it. Is it rip the Band-Aid off fast or slow? I think I'm thankful because I could deal with it as it was happening.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like in your situation. 1 minute everything's fine, next minute, it happens. For me, I kind of got my head around it as I was going. It wasn't easy, but
no, I could imagine it wasn't. Yeah. But yeah, you got, like you said, a bit of time to sort of think about it and not come to terms with it, make peace with it a little bit, but I'm sure there's days when there's no peace at all with it at all.
No.
What do they tell you when they say you've got MS? Do they give you life expectancy? Do they tell you what's going to happen? What are those conversations like in the early days?
No, because it looks different for everyone.
Right.
I could, come across someone else with primary progressive, and they might still be walking and reasonably functional, or they possibly worse. So they can't really give you what they'd expect. They just sort of say this could happen.
Yeah.
But speaking to my neurologist, you talk about life expectancy, and they say it's generally normal, and it's not generally MS that someone would pass away from. It's a complication due to it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you can still live long and obviously full lives with MS, but obviously as most disabilities. But I mean, I imagine being told that news would have been obviously horrible and heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But how did those conversations go when you then had to relay the message to family members or loved ones? How did they go?
I can't really remember.
Really?
Yeah. I can only remember my dad.
Yeah.
And because my wife was at work,
Mm-hmm.
I think my mum might have even been at work, and I rang Dad, and I was breaking down on the phone, and he came straight down and just sat with me, and we spoke, and that's really unfortunately, the only conversation I can remember, because I think it was the first person that I spoke to about it.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. There's not much you can do or say, is there?
No.
It's either way. It's just to be there with you and just sit there with you. So I imagine that's what you need in that time.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do need sometimes when they are struggling, is just to have someone to sit there and be with them.
Yeah, definitely. It's. I think the thing is, it's just so unknown. We had no idea what the future was going to hold.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah.
Do you think a bit of almost ignorance is bliss then, and it gives you a little bit of hope of not knowing, or would you rather have done heaps of research and known what was coming, or what do you, in hindsight, looking back, do you have a preference, you think?
No, I just put my head in the sand.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is going to happen.
Yeah, there's no point worrying about it and trying to guess the future, is there?
No.
Not going to make a difference. How old was your daughter at the time?
So, Jacinta was, she was born in 2004.
Right.
So she was about 2.
Yep.
And my wife was pregnant with our second due in November that year. And it was May 2006 when I was diagnosed.
Okay, so yeah, fairly young. They obviously wouldn't have known what was going on at that stage. Nah. As they've got older, have you had conversations with them about it?
Not really. They've obviously seen the progression.
Yep.
And I think as a family, we just got on with life. We didn't dwell on it too much. Obviously, it affects what you can do, but we always kind of just accepted it and did what we could. So no doubt it has affected them, and but we haven't really spoken about it a whole lot.
Proper conversations about it. How have you seen them adapt to life with having a dad in a chair that needs assistance with things now and whatnot? Do they just take into it and adapt it as needed?
Yeah, absolutely.
Been awesome.
So good. They're just that's all they know.
Yeah.
So no doubt, all of us would have wished for something different. But,
of course, yeah.
We just roll along with life, and these days they're all grown up now, and they drive me around and help me with everything I need help with.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a common thing with people that I chat to with disabilities, and you see it around the place as well, that family members that just, it's nothing to them. It's like you said, as what they know, whether it's something since they were young or whether it's something that has happened to a family member and they change, that it doesn't change their love for their family member, or whether it's a parent or a sister or a son or whatever it is, that it always people, and they're often the more accepting around, school with young ones or accepting of people in the community, and it really does have a positive impact, and a lot of the time more mature as well. Like some of the the daughters and sons you meet that are still young, but they just
Yep.
seem wise beyond their years because they've had this disability around them and had to grow up a little bit.
Definitely agree with that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it makes them more accepting of more people and understanding and give them a bit more sort of compassion and empathy for
Yeah.
other people.
So, I mean, you look for the positives in these situations, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's definitely can be a positive that your daughters can take from your experience as well.
Definitely. Yep.
So with MS, is there anything you can do to sort of stop the progression of it? Because obviously, as you mentioned, it is a degenerative disease. It does get worse. So can you do things to slow it down or stop it or rehab and things like that?
No, well, when we moved to Queensland in 2018, I wasn't aware of making strides, and it was suggested by a physio that I try it. So that was early 2019, I think, and I go there with the hope that not stopping the progression, but keep, or maintain, maybe slow progression.
Keep it at bay as long as possible.
Yeah, just with movement of your body and range of motion and that sort of thing. But there's nothing really that you can stop it.
Because it summed up, it attacks the nerves of your muscles, so it eventually just sort of stops your muscles working. Is that how you describe it?
It's your immune system attacking the myelin, which is the fatty insulation around your nerve, your central nervous system.
Right. Okay.
And it can attack in your brain or down your spine.
Okay.
Fortunately, all my activities on my central nervous system going down my spine. So it basically eats away at the myelin, and then the nerves are exposed, and then they get damaged from being exposed.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So then it does affect your function and ability, and that's where you said it can present so differently in everyone because
Absolutely.
it happens at different rates and to different parts of the body and
Yep.
whatnot. Right.
Absolutely.
Yep. So and obviously there's no cure or anything for it at the moment. Is there? Have you looked into? Are they researching into it or anything like that?
I think they're always researching,
Yeah, of course.
but I think there's just so much not known about it. Anytime I go to my neurologist and for a checkup, I said, anything on the horizon? He's like, nope.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
I think there's definitely more for the remitting relapsing community with
yep.
MS people. They seem to have reasonably good therapies and treatments now, from what I've been told.
Yep.
But primary progressive is there's less people with it, and I think unfortunately a little bit less funding. I did have my old neurologist tell me once that you'd almost think they're different diseases
Oh, really?
between the remitting relapsing and primary progressive.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
So none of the therapies, well, they sort of help, but it's not quite the same result as remitting relapsing.
one of those things where you'd rather do it and give yourself every chance than just not do it at all. At least you know you've left no stone unturned by putting it in the high yards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And as you mentioned, going and making strides and being around a lot of people there that is, a lot of people with spinal cord injuries as well. How do you find it being around, say, obviously we're two different positions where when I had my injury, that was sort of, you'd hope the sort of the worst you're going to be in the least amount of function. Whereas I'm trying to get better, you're sort of trying to stop something that's degenerative. How do you go being around a community, I guess, with different goals to yourself?
Good question. I don't really think about it.
Yeah, well, that could be the best option.
Yeah. But I sometimes feel for the trainers at Strides because they're trying to do their best for me, but we all know things are going to get worse. And, that's a benefit with the people with spinal cord injury is, hopefully you guys can maintain or improve, but the reality is that's not my future.
And you're hearing you speak about it in such like a sort of calm way, and is that just years where you've sort of come to terms with it and just try to focus on what you can control on the positives?
Yeah, it took a while, but I think I just got to a point where it's like you just got to roll with it. And pun intended. You know, there's nothing I can do about it. There's no dwelling on it. There's no reason why it happened, which is frustrating.
Yeah.
And you just got to get on with life and try and enjoy it the best you can.
Yeah.
Because don't get another shot at it.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything you actively do, any meditation or psychology or anyone you lean on during those tough times to help you out?
I was seeing a psychologist for a few years there.
Yeah.
But no, just I think it's honestly not the best way to do it, but just put my head in the sand and getting on with life.
Yeah, find a way that works for you. If that's what
Yeah.
does it, then then keep going with it.
There's definitely been some low times.
Yeah, of course.
You know, in the early years.
Yeah.
But I think, as I said, I just got to a point where it's just like, well, it is what it is. Nothing can be done about it. So I just have to get on with life, do what I can.
Yeah, it's an amazing attitude to have, but essentially the best one to have, because if you focus on the negatives all the time, you can, as you said, you've only got one shot at it, so you can not waste that shot focusing on the negatives, because it is, you can understand people that do get stuck in the negatives a little bit with a chronic disability. So, but if you can sort of focus on the positive, find what works for you. If that is speaking to someone, professional, friends, family, distract yourself, whatever you need to do to find what works for you. I think just, focus on that, and you know what you need best. Other people might tell you, no, you can't stick your head in the sand. It's not what you need to do. But if you know that's what works for you, then stick to it.
Yeah. I think in the early days I had some family members that were, hoping for a miracle cure, and they were doing a lot of research into different things and different things they were offering overseas, and I never was really all that interested in that. It sounded quite extreme, some of the options that...
It's often the family members or loved ones that go down that path, isn't it?
I can understand why. If it was one of my girls that was suffering this, and I'd be wanting to do whatever I can,
of course,
to make them better.
Yeah, do you think it's almost been easier for you to come to terms with it yourself than for loved ones around you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you
think
see
so.
that? Yeah, I've seen that as well with my disability, and also other people I've spoken to, that it does almost impact loved ones, not more, but just in a different way, where
absolutely,
when it's yourself, you can come to terms with it and say, obviously it fucking sucks,
yeah,
but you can go, like, I'm okay. I've almost come to terms with it, at peace with it, focus on the positives.
Yep.
Whereas they take that little bit longer sometimes.
Yeah. I think for me, the biggest thing is I don't have pain.
Right.
And
okay.
I don't feel sick.
Yeah.
Obviously, most of my body doesn't work much or at all.
Yeah.
But it just, I think the fact that I'm not in pain and I don't feel unwell, and I can still communicate, and I can still, see everything around me, hear everything around me. I think that they're the most important things for me, and
Yeah, you kind of figure out what is important to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, my life beforehand was all physical, playing sport and all that. I thought that was the most important thing in the world.
Yep.
Now, when that's taken away, you sort of, obviously you want to do that stuff again.
Absolutely.
You want that back, but you realise that that's not the be-all and end-all of your life, and there's other things you'd rather get back. But unfortunately takes a disability like this sometimes, or something to either a loved one or someone to sort of get that perspective on things. But it's not always as much as, just little things don't bother me anymore. I've got that kind of perspective, but it's just, sort of what's important to you as well.
I think for me over the years, any frustration I felt, it was frustration at myself. Because you're like, this is something I used to be able to do, whether it be, something around the house, or you never had to ask someone for help. You just went ahead and did it. And just some simple little things. And to now not be able to do them, it's just, that's probably the most frustrating thing.
I reckon that's the best, or not the best, sorry, the most emotion is frustration more than anger.
Absolutely.
Or sadness or anything like that.
Yep.
I think it's more just frustration half the time.
Yep.
Is the most common sort of emotion that I would feel.
Yeah.
Are you similar in that boat?
Absolutely. Yep.
Is it hereditary? Is there any research into that? No, it's not.
Not that they can prove or show. I did ask my neurologist about it being hereditary, and at the time he had said that it increases the chance, of your children
Yeah.
by 0.1% over the rest of the population.
Right.
I know a couple of people whose a parent of theirs has got MS, and none of those people are suffering at all, which is
Yeah.
lucky. And that's the thing. I look back and I go, I'll deal with this just as long as my girls don't have to.
Yeah, exactly right. As we sort of touched on, you can deal with it yourself, just not them.
Absolutely.
Is anyone else in your family that's had it?
No.
No.
I had an uncle that had MMD.
Right. Okay.
But that was diagnosed late in his life.
Yep.
But no one else. No.
And how would you describe, for someone that might be listening to this, your sort of level of function now, physical function? How would you describe it? Tough thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a lot of function.
Yep.
Yeah. My left arm, it doesn't do anything. Can't hardly move it. My right arm, I can lift a little bit.
Yeah.
But no function as far as, can't use it for anything really.
Do you still have feeling, even though you can't? Yeah, right. So that doesn't go. It's just the sort of motor function that goes. Right.
Yeah.
How do you handle when do you realise a change in your function? I know you said sort of it's not like a day-to-day thing, but is there times when you realise, oh shit, I can't do that anymore?
Yeah. Things get harder.
Right.
So it's not just sort of one day you can, one day you can't. And I guess over the last couple of years, it's all been about my right arm, and because my left arm was already not doing much.
Yeah.
And I can do things like a standing transfer with assistance, so I can still lock my legs out when needed. Not well, but it works. So it's all been about my right arm and trying to maintain the function of it to drive the wheelchair.
Right.
And I have noticed over probably the last 12 months or so, it is getting more difficult. And the other thing that affects me a lot is the cold.
Right.
As soon as it doesn't even have to be cold. It just has to be a change in the temperature by a couple of degrees. It might even be going into the grocery store and going into the cold section. And all of a sudden my arms want to pull in across my body, which makes it obviously difficult to drive the chair.
Oh, right. So it actually affects your function more so than feeling cold? Is it just the function? Or?
No, it's just the function.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So your muscles just sort of start to contract themselves?
Yes.
Right,
Yep.
that's tough.
Yep. So I love the heat.
Yeah, yeah.
My muscles go to jelly, which is what I prefer.
Yep.
And I can still drive the wheelchair reasonably well in the heat.
Yeah, right. That's one of the reasons you moved up here?
No, it was lifestyle.
Was it? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you mentioned, obviously, as you're noticing those changes in function going backwards a little bit, at what point did you realise that you had to engage with support workers and bring them into your life?
That actually happened when my marriage broke down.
Right, okay.
We separated.
Yep.
So I had to go into full-time care then. Because previous to that, my wife was doing my full-time care.
Primary care, yeah, okay. And how long ago was that?
The beginning of 2022.
Right, so what are we in? Three
and a half.
Coming up to 4 years now. Yeah, how was it integrating them into your life? How did you find that process? Obviously, there would have been a fair bit going on in your life at that time.
Yeah.
But in terms of bringing them in, how did that process go?
It was difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think along with everything else that happened at the same time.
Yeah.
Just relying on someone that wasn't my wife.
Yeah. Of course, you would have known. That's all you would have known for so long.
That's all I would have known. Well, that's all I did know.
Yeah.
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 So it took a while, but then it just became the new norm.
Again, you just got to get on with it, don't you?
Yeah.
There's no other option.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you meet with people and sort of iron out who you thought you got along with? Because is it full 24/7 support with you as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you meet those people and try to find those ones you think you get along with, or did you go more down, I need someone trained in this specific sort of thing, or how did you go about it?
It was more about getting on with them.
Yeah.
I think, and I've had a few people say this. It's they find it quite easy to support me because I can tell them what I need and how to do it.
Yeah.
Rather than someone who, may not have the capability to sort of talk them through it. So a lot of the support workers I've had over the years, they've, it's first time. They haven't done it for someone else.
Yeah.
So it was more about personality and spending long periods of time with these people.
Yeah, you're in each other's space a lot, so you need to make sure you can get along.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one thing I've always said is, and I'm sure you could agree with it, it's in our situation, you lose independence.
Yep.
But I think you also lose privacy.
Of course.
And for me, that's, almost, the same as the independence.
Yeah.
So it's taken a while, but the team I've got with me now, phenomenal. Really happy with them. My daughters get on well with them, which is very important.
Yeah, of course, integrating them into your personal life.
Yeah, that they feel comfortable around them. So
yeah,
that's pretty cool that they get on.
Yeah, they mentioned that you don't have an option, so you need to find those people that really get along. And I mean, I often say, pretty much anyone in terms of capability can be a support worker. It's more about having the open mind and listen to direction from those that can direct their own care and that sort of thing, and making sure you can get along with people. It's obviously you need to still have certain skills and whatnot, but as long as you're prepared to listen and take on advice and not take things to heart when maybe, and in those moments when, as we mentioned, you do get a bit frustrated.
Yes.
Not take it to heart and realise it's, as you mentioned as well, you're more frustrated at yourself and just the situation than the actual person that might be on the receiving end of it, but it's not at them. So,
and I think the other thing too is the frustration that sometimes you just can't get the words out. It's like, can you do this? And they're like, well, what do you want me to do? And it's like, this, like, come on, surely it's not that hard.
Yeah. It's it's a tricky line to toe that you just figure it out on the way, don't you?
Yeah.
And I guess that's finding the right ones, the right communication style as well, that do take on and don't take those things to heart or take it the wrong way, that can converse with you and listen in the right way.
Yeah.
So what about returning to dating then, now that you're back in the single life, back on the market?
Yeah.
Back on the market with a disability is always fun. How do you find returning to the dating world?
Well, it had been over 25 years.
Yeah, wow.
So I was only, when I met my wife, I was 18.
Yeah, okay.
So I just straight up thought no one's going to want to talk to me.
Right.
They're going to see the chair and they're just like, no, not interested.
Not interested, yep.
So I guess even to start off with, the fact that people wanted to engage on the apps with me, I'm like, okay, there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
And then that was your starting point, getting on the apps and just sort of put yourself out there and see what happens?
Yeah, exactly, because I'm not the sort of person that likes to go out, bit of an introvert.
Right.
And, going out in, I don't know, pubs, clubs, that's just not my thing.
Yeah, okay.
So, got on the apps and it's been a journey.
It has, yeah, I can imagine. Is it something you don't sort of try to shy away from and be upfront about, like, this is my disability, this is what I have, or do you just sort of wait for them to ask, or do you have a routine?
Yeah, it feels like that sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
Feels like
same conversations over and over.
Yeah, it's almost like you cut and paste it from
is
notes.
Sometimes, yep.
Just write it once and send it out.
Yeah, copy and paste, yep.
It's definitely not hide anything. I'm not that sort of person.
Yeah.
I'd always want them to know as much as they can know to start off with.
Yep.
So that, they can make a decision as to whether they want to continue the conversation. So.
Yeah, I find that's the best way. That if it's a problem early on, find out, and then you can part ways if it is going to be a problem. So
you're human.
Yeah, exactly right. So it is tough. Yeah, so you just have been on the apps and started. It was a process before actually going on a date, or how do you handle that when obviously, as we've mentioned as well, we don't have much independence.
No.
So how do you go about bridging those gaps?
Well, I think the first date I went on, obviously very nervous, but I told them that I would need assistance, eating or drinking, whatever we ended up doing.
Yeah.
Would they prefer me to take a support along with me to do that? And we did that time, which we had a good night. Nothing ever came of that.
Yeah.
But since then, any date I've been on, I've just gone by myself and I've just said, look, this is what I need. If you're not comfortable with it, that's fine.
Yep.
But they've all they've all said, yeah, that's fine, whether they've meant it or not.
Yeah, that's always the other thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, but when I say all, there hasn't been that many dates.
Yeah.
But the ones I have been on, they've been quite happy to help.
Yeah, there are those people out there that isn't there that, as you mentioned, some will see the chair or the disability or not be happy to help, and as you said, that's not your human. That's fine. So you find the ones that are willing to do it, and so when you do find the one, then you got to bring them back home with the support workers there. How does that go?
No, not really.
No?
You just sort of, obviously they have to let them in.
Yeah.
But I usually say I'll see you in a couple of hours. So
yeah.
And we've just sort of, most of the time it's been a couple of dates first rather than going home.
Yeah.
Go out for meals or that sort of thing to get to know the person.
Yep.
And then, if it's moved on to going back to, having a meal at home or something like that, it's, I think most times it was just
You just the same
just
sort of
with
thing.
them.
Approach it and say, this is what I need, this is what needs to happen, and they're either comfortable with it or they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the only way to really approach it, is that you don't really have any other options.
No.
That's one of the questions I often get asked is about that sort of like sex and dating and all that kind of stuff with support workers and how's it work and all that kind of thing. And it's like kind of you just do it. Like you got to, all adults, and realize it's going to happen. It's just you need a bit more assistance with certain things, or like as you said, support workers letting people in, and some might find that a bit weird. That there's a lot of the time it's just like having a housemate.
Yeah, that'd be good way to put it. But I think it's all about communication.
Yeah, that's massive.
Communication. You communicate what you need and sort of open and honest, and let them know. By that stage, after you've been on a couple of dates, you sort of they're fairly aware of what you can and can't do.
Trial and error, and you figure it out pretty quick. So, still in the dating world, secured one. Where are we at?
No, I've got
locked down.
Got a person at the moment.
Oh, so, nice. Yeah. How's it going?
Good, really good.
Yeah. Just taken to it and been fine with it, and just accepted everything and made life easy. It's
been great. I don't know, just still trying to sort of negotiate the whole thing. How it's going to work, how lives can integrate together. Just
still a bit of trial and error.
Don't get too far ahead. Just take it day as it comes.
Yeah, no, I think that's a very good approach to have. Yeah. So use of adaptive devices for computer and stuff like that, have you gone down that pathway?
Yeah, definitely. I only just found it in the middle of last year because I was having a lot of trouble trying to use the computer. I was using a laptop with, trying with my right knuckle, trying to use the little trackpad, which was getting more and more difficult. And then when Apple announced on the phones that they were going to release eye tracking, I wondered whether they were going to bring that to their computers. And I did a Google search and found that on their computers, Macs, it's not eye tracking, but it's face tracking. They already had it since 2019.
Face track, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of turning a couple of options on. It's already in there. It's not an add-on. And the cursor basically follows, it must pick a point, your nose or something like that, and it follows your face around the screen. And then you just set up different face expressions to left click, right click.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So it's as I said, it's been there since 2019. It's surprised they don't push it more and make it more known.
Yeah, I did. I knew they had their own inbuilt like voice recognition stuff, but not face tracking.
Yeah.
Does it work pretty well? Does it?
Great.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really good.
That's amazing. Do you use like, voice to text and that kind of thing as well?
I dictate a bit with my text messages.
Oh yeah.
Because you can do it on your phone as well.
Yeah,
on your,
right.
iPhones, it's got the same face tracking feature as well as the eye tracking. I didn't find that very easy to use, but the face tracking, it's the same as computer.
Yeah, okay. Is anything like Siri where it just doesn't listen to you the right way sometimes and be a dick? Or not too
No,
bad?
that's just Siri.
That's just Siri.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, because that's cool that you've been able to get back to doing stuff like that. Yeah, having that, although it may be something that's seen as small, just having that bit of independence where you can jump on and just do your own thing. It's
so good.
It becomes massive, doesn't
It's
it?
so good.
Yeah, something as simple as using a computer can just be huge.
Just life admin.
Yeah.
Paying bills and, doing stuff with banking and
Yeah.
booking things and whatever you do from day to day on your computer, to be able to do it yourself. And it's there's no struggle at all. Like I said, I was using my knuckle on my right hand and struggling with the laptop to now I would say it's almost as easy as being able-bodied and just doing it with the mouse and the keyboard.
Yeah, well, there you go, Apple. If you're listening, there's an ambassador for you.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll listen to this.
Yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. Like, it's one less thing you got to ask someone else to do, and
Absolutely.
that bit of independence. So that's really good. And what about if there's someone else that's maybe just been diagnosed with MS or a family member going through it or something like that? What advice would you have for them?
I don't know.
One day at a time.
Yeah, just one day at a time.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. It's not good, but it's just got to keep living life. Try not to dwell on it. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, of course.
And just try and get on and do what you can.
As you said, there's a bit earlier that it's living in a different way now. That's with less loss of function and maybe in a chair, but still being able to communicate with loved ones and still be able to do those sort of things that you realise are a lot more important. That focus on those things and not get too far ahead of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's awesome, mate. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey. It's as you mentioned in there a few times, it's not an easy place to be, and obviously the future can be a bit uncertain as well. So thank you for coming on and being vulnerable and sharing your experiences.
No worries. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much to Matt Greer for coming on and sharing his story of since his diagnosis with MS, his journey and his family's journey that they've been on. I can't imagine, as he mentioned, being told it's either MND or MS. That would be a terrible thing to be told. So the way that he's been able to have such a positive mindset with it all and take it on the chin and just keep moving forward was quite amazing to listen to. So well done to him, and some of the amazing things he's doing these days has been really cool. So definitely a great role model for his kids and anyone else out there with MS that may be struggling. And there were a lot of negative and touchy emotions that we explored in this chat, a lot of sort of negative experiences that Matt has been through, and he did speak about getting in touch with a psychologist that really helped him. So if this episode or any of my episodes do bring up any adverse feelings for you, please do reach out to Lifeline on 13 11 14. You can also text them on 0477 13 11 14 or go online and navigate to their live chat. Please do remember to reach out and check in on each other, and that it ain't weak to speak. Also, make sure you go check out the Instagram page at chatfromachair_podcast or the Facebook page at Chats from a Chair Podcast. Have a look at some of the past guests I've had on there and let you know about the upcoming guests coming on. It's got links there to listen or watch on YouTube, and also don't forget to hit follow or subscribe wherever you're listening or watching this. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this chat as much as I did. Cheers.